Hi, everybody. So for those watching the recording, thank you for watching it. As you're probably aware, I changed the time of when I was actually going to do this. And so consequently, there hasn't been anyone on this evening, which to be honest, that's fine. It's no big deal. This is really about making sure that I'm available for anyone who's got questions. It's not about me. It's about understanding that doing this course, that you're not alone, that you actually have support. So we're at literally week 12, yeah. And a massive big thank you to everybody who still is doing the program. Now, I totally realize that not everybody will be literally at week 12, and I've got some emails during the week asking to know, does that mean that, we're at week 12, does that mean that everything's going to be like cut over? And the answer is no, it's not. Because as part of the beta program, you got access to it basically for 2 lots of 12 weeks. So the idea was that you'd actually get a chance to do it and then get a chance to redo it. So what you will notice is over the next coming weeks that I am going to be updating. I've taken on a lot of suggestions, and I'm really, really, really appreciative of everyone who's put a suggestion in, and I've taken it on board. And I've looked at it and I thought, all right, is that for the greater good, for want of a better description? And so I'm literally making the changes as it goes along. So you are going to notice there will be new, the weeks will change. Basically, the videos will change, things change. This week, I'm going to send out a survey. Now, I would so appreciate it, like truly appreciate it. I don't care where you are. If you're at week 2 or week 12, it doesn't matter. But I would really, really appreciate it if you could fill in the survey, because I want to know how I can make this better. I would love to know things like, if you've fallen off for a few weeks, what was it that actually made you fall off? And is there anything that I could have done or I could do in the future that would prevent that from happening? Honestly, like that would make such a huge, huge difference, because like most things in life, it's not just about us, it's about future people. So, I want to know, is there anything on my end, or is it just that it's something that you do where you kind of get on and get off of things, and it's just how you do things in general? Again, that's no criticism or no judgment. It just is how it is. So for anyone who's not at week 12 and worried or concerned about being able to, that you're going to run out of time, no, you have another 12 weeks, but at the end of that 12 weeks, the beta version will be cut over, and then it will be only the full version available. That full version will be going live in 2-3 weeks time. So that's pretty exciting. I don't think there's really anything else I need to say. Obviously, love you to, I'm really happy. I'd love to get some feedback. That's really what I'm asking, like hand on heart. I just want to know, what would you change? If you were sitting on this side of the desk, what is it that you would actually change that we can actually make this program better? And what is it that you have, loved about the program? What would you think, no, I don't like about the program? All of it. I don't want anybody concerned about it. Somebody's joining us. Awesome. Somebody's online. Fantastic. Hello.
Hi, Anne.
It's just us this evening. I just changed it. I was just doing a recording saying I've just changed it. I've changed the time because of personal things. I always said that at the beginning. I could be changing depending on a few, it depends on life and whatever. So I've Wednesday evening, because of my kids, has become not really a good evening for me. So I'm back doing Tuesdays. So I was just explaining that I'm going to. Sorry.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because I normally am going to dance classes, but I've hurt my back, so I didn't go tonight. And I was just listening to a workshop on gut health, and something made me think, oh, I should check when the Zoom call is. And I checked my emails, and I was like, oh, it's now. I was like, okay.
I love it. I love it. It's like personal session. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let me ask you, how are you doing? I want to know.
Oh, wow. The interesting thing is that I had planned on doing some stuff tonight in preparation for the call tomorrow. So of course,
that's okay.
But that's okay. How am I doing? Look, I'm doing okay, but I feel like I've kind of I don't really know what the word is. Like, flatlined isn't the right word, but I don't know. I'm still listening to the audios, the hypnosis. still listening to the still listening to the information videos beforehand. But I do kind of feel like maybe I haven't absorbed enough of that. Like I actually last week started going back through the preparation week, and taking notes, listening to the informative. So I'm just trying to get my back comfortable because
good, important.
Not comfortable. I don't know. I feel like maybe stuff's not sinking in. Maybe that's how I'm feeling a little bit.
Okay, how are you doing as regards anxiety? That's really the question, I suppose. Or if I said it more accurately, how are you compared with how you used to be before you started doing the program?
Look, I definitely think I'm a little bit better, but then there has also been a shift in the sense that there was a lot of stress happening for me before Christmas and stuff. And then I've had holiday, like there's been some life events, I guess, that have, kind of changed things, like being on 3 weeks holidays kind of makes a difference. So it's definitely better, but I feel like there's something else in there now, and it's kind of like I don't know. I feel very stuck. It's kind of like a frustration that I'm not moving forward in any direction. Like, well, I feel like I'm not. I feel like I'm not taking any action, and I'm kind of just dabbling in a whole pile of. I don't know. There's like I think my anxiety's been a bit better.
Because that's really what we're working on. Do you know what I mean? Like at the end of it, that's specifically what this program is about. It's about reducing anxiety. It's like a coaching program to actually get you moving to like what you actually like want to do. That's a whole different thing. That's a different set of skills, something that I do and that I love doing with people. But the IS program, the idea is that you are responding better to life. Do you know, when things are happening, that you're not finding yourself as anxious, or that you just have tools that you can, if you have an anxious time or a day, that you can actually pull yourself out of it pretty quickly.
I guess that's what I feel like I don't really know what the tools are, if that makes any sense, other than listening to one of the audios. Like I can't like just now, even thinking now from what you just said, it's like I can't think of what tools I would pull out.
So have you done the scripting week, the week where it's about scripting, where it's about having gratitude, the attitude of gratitude, where it's scripting out what you actually, that you work on that, your vibration on that?
Yeah, well, I've done, which week was that? I've done all of them.
I can't remember, to be truthful. It's one of the weeks where it's like, you write down, I'm so grateful for and I really appreciate, and you.
There was actually, that was something I was going to ask you tomorrow, but I wanted to go back and find out where they were. But I feel like there were a couple of weeks where in some of the videos you mentioned something that was going to be there, like a document, and then it wasn't, like I haven't been able to find it.
Okay.
So not.
You let me know what that one was, 100%, because I've got all of what I said I would have, which should be available,
There was one, it wasn't this week, it was the week before. There was something, it was some kind of planner or something. You were talking about like some kind of documenting, like planning or something in your notes section, and then you said so and so, like you mentioned someone's name, and sounded like you said that it's okay. I'll go back and have a look.
Okay. Yeah, definitely let us know. 100%. Yeah.
So the scripting one, see, I can't even actually, I would have listened to it, but that's actually not even ringing a bell. So I'm like, okay, so obviously I listened to that. Why?
So it's one of the videos, like one of the weeks, talking about, one of the things to get your vibration up is actually it's like an appreciation list, where it's like, I'm really appreciative of this, I love this, I'm appreciative. So the idea being that in the morning, that it's a really good thing to actually start your day with, because it starts your way of thinking. Do you know what I mean? Rather than, because when we wake up in the morning, the momentum that we've had from the day previous, if we have been not in a positive space, we get a break from it. And then we get that like window when we wake up in the morning where we can go down the path of yesterday, or we get to like recreate a path today, a way of thinking. Do you get what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. I do. Yeah.
And
Like,
so like, and this can, because they say like, and I do believe it, our 90% of our thoughts are repetitive day in, day out. You know, we think the same things, we say the same things to ourselves over and over again. So this scripting is just an easy way of actually having something that you actually have access to beside the bed. Yes, it's like, all right, look at, you know, this is, so you start the day on that note. Even if it only lasts for half an hour, at least you started it on that good foot. Do you know what I mean? So that's
okay.
one of the tools. There was another tool, which was the box breathing, which was
Yes.
out
Okay.
of like anything, yeah. And then the other one was the Ho'oponopono,
That's
which
right.
is a way of yeah, so they're like outside. I mean, the core work. And then there was another one which I did on meditation, talking about how to just get started at meditation, starting at 5 minutes a day. Don't put any stress on yourself, but it's a really good way of getting your intuition to actually come through, because when we're so busy, you know, our mind is like a super highway and we can't really get that knowledge through. And even if the meditation is like a challenge at the beginning, it's worth it for 5 or 10 minutes, because ultimately you'll be able to calm your mind so much better. But you know, it's just sometimes people don't stick with it because they go, oh, my mind got busier. Well, yeah, it will. But if you actually just do the 5 minutes until you can master that, and then do the 10 and so on. Yeah, so they're kind of some of outside of the audios, because the audios obviously are about, you know, reprogramming your response to things, yeah, reducing overthinking and not avoiding situations and not running negative expectancy, to just you, yeah.
Yeah, now that you've said it, yeah, I do. I remember the box breathing. I remember the meditation. I remember the Ho'oponopono. I have used that before in the past. I think it's more, I don't know, it's like I implement things and then I forget about them all for ages, and then until something kind of goes haywire, and then it's like, oh, okay, that's right, I can try this again. And then it's kind of almost like I'll implement everything at once. It's kind of a bit like food related stuff as well, like start to feel sick or whatever, and I start to implement so many things that in the end you don't know what actually has.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the, you know, I suppose the thing is that, and I also talked about, I think, mini goals, where, you know, if you implement, you do a little bit every day. So rather than the big, huge thing, that you actually go, all right, look, at every day, I'm going to do like 5 minutes of meditation. I'm going to do whatever. And then it's consistency, because consistency wins the battle all of the times, rather than this big, huge entourage. I'm going to change everything. And we, you know, you're not alone. I'm sure there's lots and lots and lots of people on this program and outside of the program who do that as well. So it's certainly not, you know, it's not like anything personal, but it's just a strategy, and then it doesn't work because it all falls apart. Whereas if you chunk it down into small manageable bits, then you can go, all right, look, I've actually, you know, and I can do that. So then you kind of build on it. You know what I mean? Because then you're not like on the path or off the path. It's like, all right, I'm building the path.
Yeah. I think when you mentioned scripting, that might have been one of the videos that I thought said something like you were going to attach your script or an example of your script.
Yeah, I definitely intended to. So yeah, I can, yeah, I can.
Unless I just can't, like, and then I wasn't sure.
I just did mine. I just copied and paste mine, and I'm like, I just thought, oh look, I'll share what I kind of put down. And it really is a gratitude list. And it's also mixing up. It's a combination of mixing up what is and what you want to be.
Okay.
That's the trick, yeah. So it's like you might do 2 things that you're grateful for, and the third thing that you put down is like you're grateful for, and you put it down in current tense, but that hasn't created yet, but you have. Do you know what I mean? You've started the flow as regards, you know, I'm grateful for the fact that I woke up this morning and I feel healthy. I'm grateful. And then the third one, and then the fourth, do you know what I mean? So you interlace them at different places.
So you're saying, so like for me, wanting to buy a van, so you'd say, I'm grateful for this. So you'd say you're grateful for something you haven't actually got yet.
Yeah, but you start with a few things that you have.
Or you have.
Yeah, that's the difference. Because if you don't, your unconscious mind will go, huh? Hold on a second. That's not real. Yeah. But you start for a few and then you slip them in, yeah? Do ignore, slip them in, because you're in that attitude of gratitude or attitude of appreciation when you're doing that. Do you know what I mean? So it's not, because if you start off with 3 things you don't have, your unconscious mind will go, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. And it's like, and then you'll be,
Yeah.
and then it'll be counterproductive. But when you get the fact of, you're grateful for the fact, that you wake up this morning and you're in a safe room or whatever it happens to be, genuine stuff that really means something to you. Then when you add in the others, then it's like, see, it's not, this is really important as well to share this actually on the video. It's not about getting rid of anxiety forever. There is no program on the planet that I've ever encountered, and I would say to someone, bring it to me if it exists, because I don't believe it does, right? It really is about turning down how we actually do our unconscious processes. So overthinking less, avoiding less, running neutral expectancy more. Do you know what I mean? Not trying to control things as much. That's the goal of the program. Do you know what I mean? So we can actually like turn down the heat per se. Yeah. Or then when we do try to control something, that we'll, rather than going, oh, it's anxiety, you go back and go, oh, I was just over controlling on that. So you can name it.
Yeah, okay, I get you. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's a realistic and a pretty good place to be, because it happens automated. The reality of going around life and just not feeling anxious or ever anxious, it's hallucination nearly.
yeah. Well, that's right. That was the other thing I was going to do tonight, was go back to your last video chat, like last Zoom call, and do, because there was myself and the other lady, and you asked
right.
I was going to go back and go through those questions and
Good.
And anyway, I can do that. I can still do that.
Yeah, so no, it's not like, I when I'm doing the new version of the program, I am actually going to, like, say, for example, you came on the program because you want to get rid of anxiety, but the question is, what would you be doing if you didn't have anxiety? Because ultimately that's really the image, there's got to be a reason why we want to get rid of something.
Yeah.
For you, I'm guessing, Sam, that would be the van. Am I right in saying that?
That the van, sorry.
So if you weren't running anxiety, would the van be, is the van your ultimate? Or not?
I mean, yes, but there's probably bigger things, I feel like. As in, like, yeah. I mean, yes, yeah, you're right. If I wasn't really anxious about all avenues of purchasing it and what to do with it, then yeah, I would have that. But I feel like that's just a piece of it.
Yeah.
I guess there would be maybe other things that I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if it's the anxiety or if it's overwhelm or whatever, but I have like lots of different ideas of things to do with my life, and then I get very excited about them, and then I can't seem to take any action on them, and it all just falls away. Like it's almost like too much comes in, and then I get overwhelmed, and then I start to think of every little aspect, and then it's like, don't do it, don't take any action, which I guess is all those elements of the anxiety that you say.
That's the 3 checkpoints. Every time we want to do something, there are 3 checkpoints in our brain that prevent us from doing it. And we have to get through those 3 checkpoints to be able to do something. We have to. That's it. Otherwise, that we just sit there in stuck land and it doesn't actually happen. We have to get through. And the very first part of it is the unconscious part, where that's the negative self-talk comes in. And it goes, you're an idiot. You're not smart enough to do that. You don't have enough money. You're this, all of those things. It's like absolute, you're too old to do this. We should have done it for ages. What are you thinking? Do you really think you can do that? Yeah. So the very, very, very first thing that comes up is this checkpoint 1. And a lot of people never get beyond that. That's the truth. So you've got to be able to understand that and address that. And again, this is outside the realm of this program. This is not what the program is. This is a different program, but just sharing and talking about what it is. When you want to get from A to, K, this is a process that happens. So instantly, you're saying you've got lots of things and you get really excited, and your checkpoint 1 will come in and tell you all the reasons why you just can't do it. And then it's like, and the whole thing just goes, Yeah, it's like music.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like amazing. Then it's like, oh, it's that like, yeah, isn't it? It's like, oh, it's gone, yeah. And
Yeah.
then the second part is checkpoint two, which is the emotions. And so that's really the amygdala part of the brain, and that's when the fear kicks in. So even if you get by checkpoint one, then any emotions comes up. Yeah. So checkpoint two is like checking for emotions. And lots of times that's fear that comes in. And then checkpoint three is your logic. And the logic is really having a definitive decision as regards what you actually want to do, you know? Because sometimes we can get past the unconscious processes. We can actually, with a tool, we can get beyond fear with a tool. And then we get to the third point, and it's like, well, I could do this or I could do that. And then we get stuck in this indecision land. Yeah, where it's like, well, I could do that or I could do this. And then we just don't do either of them because we just get stuck. And it's really like kind of making a decision, going, all right, look, I'm going to do this. And then if this doesn't work out, so be it. But neither of them are going to work out if we just stay in our, cognitive way of thinking. So that's ultimately what goes on. And that's the whole kind of coaching program, actually getting in there and going, all right, getting rid of checkpoint three, working on the emotions, and then getting clarity around your values and what you actually want. Otherwise, it's kind of like almost like sitting there watching cars go by. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't happen, And then it's always like, say for the van as an example. Well, it's like, all right, what resources do you need, to get the van? And then it's like, well, what's the plan to get those resources? See, otherwise it becomes like this hope land. When somebody says, it's like hope, it's like, I call it hope land. It's living in hope land, hope.
Land.
Yeah, I hope this will happen, or I hope. Lots of people live in hope land, yeah? And it's not the place to be, because hoping, it's rare that someone's going to knock on your door and go, oh, here you go, that's what you've been looking for. Isn't it? Like, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, what do you want? What, you got to get through these checkpoints, but then it's like, all right, what resources do you need to actually make that happen? And then what plan do you have to attain those resources? And if it's not possible at the moment, what other, smaller version of what you want is a step towards getting those resources? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does.
But like, if you sit there kind of allowing your mind to just talk you out of everything, and again, this is not you, this is just you.
No, it's me. It is me.
You by so many, though, talking yourself out of it, and then not actually, and hoping things, as opposed to going, all right, look, actually, what's the strategy? What resources do I need? And what strategy do I have that actually enables me to get that? Bear in mind something. Every single decision that we make, there's like a cost to it.
Yeah.
Every decision we make in life actually has a cost. There's just not possible to, and it can be simple. Like, it could be something like, you see two restaurants and you choose one, the cost is not going to the other.
Yeah.
You look at two holidays and you go, I'm going to go for this one, the cost is not going to that one. I say to somebody, show me how something, you decide to marry someone, the cost is not marry them, or you decide to not marry them, the cost is everything. Every single decision has got two sides of the coin. So, we got to kind of look. So sometimes I say, I really want that. And so how are you going to get it? Well, I need to do this, but I don't really want to do this. Well, then it ain't going to happen unless you find some other way around it. So everything, when we want something, it depends on the drive of how much we want it. And it's like, all right, there's people watching this and they're like training to be hypnotherapists. And I'm speaking to them specifically when I say this, the cost of going out there is the fact that you may mess up and somebody may not like what you do, or you might get criticized, or you might get rejected, or whatever it is. But if you don't do it, you get stuck. So do you know what I mean? Like, whether it's being a hypnotherapist or whether it's being whatever, there's going to be a cost associated with taking a new form of action.
Yes. Yeah.
Always. Always. And I think when we look at life like that and we realize that it really is getting really real about things, it's all right. Okay. You know, the cost of this then is this. Am I prepared to take it?
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're right. There is. Every decision has an option.
Every decision. I've yet to find one. Like, if there's anyone watching this and they have one that they have no other cost to it, I really appreciate them sending it in, because in my whole life, I have never found any decision. You know, my decision to come to Australia, the cost was not hanging out with my Irish friends, but the benefit was coming here and making new friends and having a great lifetime. But it was still a cost, although I wanted to be over here. There still was a cost. Do you know, like of
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what it is. So I guess, you know, part of that. So what do you want that you're not having at the moment?
I think that's the big question, is that I'm not I don't really know what I want to do with my life. And I have lots of different thoughts and ideas, but I don't actually know that I don't know that I'm really wanting any of them. But I just know that what I'm sorry, I know that what I'm currently doing is, like, I don't hate it, but I kind of just fall into jobs. I kind of just fall into jobs and it'll evolve into something and whatever, and it's I guess I don't feel what's the word, satisfied isn't fulfilled.
Yeah.
I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel like I'm fulfilling a need or a desire, or that I don't know, that maybe there's more I could be giving back to community, or more I could be sharing, or
yeah,
I'm just not really sure. I know I'm a really creative person, but I I seem to, like, not be doing anything that creative.
okay.
Or not at the moment. Like, I've done like lots of courses, I've done lots of things, and then I don't know. Just feel like I can't put my finger on what it is that I'd actually like. What I think I would love doing. I love singing, but I feel like that's not I feel like it's not really a viable full-time income earning kind of option, especially at my age. Which is, I know I'm talking myself out of it, but I kind of feel realistically that's not, like, yeah, this is all being recorded, isn't it?
Yeah. And so, that's what I'm not asking you, like, no, I'm yes. And it's,
yeah. There's lots of different things. Like, I've studied a yoga course, but not quite finished it. Like, I haven't done the final assignment, but it's been that long since I did the study for it, like 10 years, that I feel like even if I finally get the certification, I don't actually know that I want to be a teacher. Like, I could certainly see myself doing it. I don't know that that's what I want. And then I've done this other study, and it's like, oh, I could do this, or I could do workshops, but do I actually want, like, I don't know. I feel like I just keep flitting from one thing that I think I might like, and then flit on to something else. And yeah, I guess I just hope that at some point all the different things I've done will somehow kind of fall into something and form. Yeah, I don't know.
and you see, the problem with that is that based on strategy or based on hope?
Hope. Yeah, it's based on hope, because there's not any action. I'm not taking any action other than, like, learning things, but they're not actually taking any action to, I talk myself out of doing things before
And
I do
that's
them.
what I mean about the 3 checkpoints. Yeah. You just, you're a victim of the checkpoints. You're a victim of your brain.
Yes. Damn brain.
I know, Sam. It's good to know this, though. Like, you don't have to stay like that. It's up to you, you know, you don't have to keep it doing that way. I mean, that's your current strategy. And again, you're not going to be the only person. My God, not even remotely. I know that for definite in the work I do. So it's like, you know, that's the strategy at the moment, but it's like, all right, that strategy is not working because, you know, it's kind of based on, again, that ding dong hope that someday it's like, no, you know, it's like, you know, doing it, but then also learning to overcome the barriers to it. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so then you actually carry it to the next level. Because I don't think you need to know. I used to always think for years I needed to know my big plan. And I don't think sometimes that's how life works. I'm convinced now it's more like knowing the next step. No, and actually choosing a step and actually executing it and doing it and then seeing where that leads. Because again, sometimes people don't do anything because they're waiting to have this aha flash of like amazing energy, like this white light comes in somewhere. It's like, that's what I'm meant to do. Yeah. And it's like, oh, that's it. I've found it. I'm on my path. And I hate being the bearer of bad news, but I don't really think that's what works. It may work for some people, and I have to say, but generally speaking, I don't think that's how it works. I think more like, all right, I'm actually going to like choose something that makes my heart happy and I'll do it and I'll execute it. And then when I'm doing that, then who knows what the next kind of like a frog, you know, where the frogs jump, yeah, where the next lily pad is going to be.
Yeah,
But if
I
you wait
agree.
for the ultimate lily pad, it just, you know, in my experience and in my professional experience, it's not how it works for people. It's like just pick something, do it, get into it, actually be doing it, and then see what the next bit. But sitting back waiting for this kind of utopic idea to come, to be
When
true.
you're not taking any action.
When you're not taking any action, to be honest, is like hopeful.
Oh yeah, I completely agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah, being honest. Yeah. So maybe you're getting frustrated because your anxiety is less, and now you're like, oh, you know what I mean? It's kind of,
Yeah, maybe.
do you know what I mean? Like, because you know, anxiety is down and it's like, oh, I'm stuck, you know?
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's like, maybe the anxiety is, yeah, maybe the anxiety is clearing and that's making me more aware of
Because you've got space in your
what I'm
brain.
not doing.
You're
Yeah.
not doing, yeah. So suddenly it's like, oh, you know what I mean? Then it comes up going, oh, I'm a bit like, you know,
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
you know, that it's like it's come to the surface. Now it's like, okay, oh, I don't do all those things I used to do, or I do them less. Now I'm like, okay, I'm kind of hitting a ceiling, and I don't want to be hitting that ceiling. I'm over it.
Yeah, sorry, I've got something in my eye.
Oh, that's all right. I hate when things come in one's eyes. It's just,
No. Is it raining where you are? It's just started raining.
it has been on and off. Yeah, it's been on and off. I put a big wash on today, and then it's been washed about 4 times on the line, and then it had a bit of wind. And now I hate using the dryer, but it's in the dryer because sometimes it's just necessary, especially with kids. Yeah, you just have to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been weird weather. It's been a strange week.
How did you end up where you are in your practice as a hypnotherapist?
Literally by getting my healing happening, by like having bad anxiety, and then, you know, on the search for that. I never thought in a million years I would do this kind of work, ever. It's not like one day I sat down and said, I'm going to be a hypnotherapist, I'm going to do this work. Not at all. But just when I ended up getting relief from this type of work, then I went off and I studied, because I'm like, man, this actually works, you know?
Yeah.
And that was like, that was kind of my path into it. And even, you know, for the future, I'm looking at my business and probably, you know, doing the same thing, but doing a slight change. And so I think it's always evolving. You know, I don't think I have arrived at a destination. I think that there are multiple destinations. To me, they're train stations.
A nice idea.
That's how I really genuinely think. I think they're train stations. So I'm like, all right, I just need to work out which direction I'm heading in. And then I'm like, all right, I'll go to the next train station, and then I'll try that on for size, and then I'll do it, and then I'll give it a decent go, and then it'll either work or not work. And then from there I'll kind of decide, is that still the direction I want to head in? And
Yeah.
then so I don't,
wanna
it's
get
not
control.
exactly right. So it's not putting too much pressure on myself, but it's still momentum of moving forward.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes, not everybody, but sometimes I think if we look at what we have to overcome, and then if we overcome it, very often we can help other people overcome what we have done. Now, that's not everybody's cup of tea, and I get that 100%. But, some people watching this, they've just got a passion for something. They just love a particular thing. See, I don't think, and that's another thing I've learned recently. You don't have to help the world. It's not all about helping the world. You know, sometimes we're sold this idea it's all about helping the world. We don't have to. We didn't come here to necessarily help the world. We actually came here to enjoy what we're doing. You know, so sometimes we have this image or this idea that, oh, I'm meant to be like, you know, doing something that's, you know, helping humanity. And that's really cool. But I don't think it has to be.
You've frozen.
Sorry, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, you froze as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I could still hear you, but I just, yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, for some people it will be helping humanity, but for other people, there's nothing wrong with doing something that's not, you know, doing a Mother Teresa on it. Once you're actually doing something that actually makes you happy. That's really where our focus needs to be. What actually makes us happy? Because if you've got more happy people on the planet, it's a better planet anyway.
That's true. And if you're happier, then yeah, then people will be not learning. People will be benefiting from that. If you're
Yes,
happy.
110%. You know, so it's not just having to be, you know, it's not, you know, sometimes we just look, oh, I really want, who am I going to help? And it's like, that's great if that's your thing, but if it's not your thing, that's okay too. You know, if we were asking ourselves, what actually makes me happy? What makes me tick? What actually gives me like, what gives me that, like, I just like doing it. That's a good place to start.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes we're sold the idea that it's got to be like, you know, and again, I love helping people, but it doesn't have to be. It's not everybody's path on the planet. There's no point in helping people if you're not enjoying it. You've got to be enjoying it as well, because then if you're not, then you're not being true to yourself.
Yeah, yeah. No, I completely agree with you on that one. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, the idea would be that it's both something you enjoy and it's benefiting and assisting other people as well.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's got to be the you enjoy first. That's got to be the core, you know. I mean, accountants help people, lawyers help people, you know, judges help people. Maybe.
Maybe sometimes depending on how they rule.
Absolutely, 100%. But you know what I mean? Like, somebody working in McDonald's helps somebody if they give them a burger with a smile on their face. The traffic person, you know, on the road that stops us and waves us on, they help people. Because, you know, they prevent people from having accidents.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? So it depends on, you know, it depends on your, you know, it depends on what your attitude that you bring to a job. Do you know what I mean? You can be helping people doing anything. Or you can be like a nurse and not be really wanting to help people.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? You could be
pretty sure I've met them as well.
Sorry?
I think I've met one of those nurses before in the past as a kid.
Yeah, it can happen. You can be a teacher. You can be any career and not really be wanting to help people. You can be just 100%. So do you know what I mean? I think it's this kind of, sometimes it's broader than we would give it credit for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It makes complete sense.
So I don't know if that helps. Is that useful?
So, yeah, I think so. I don't think it's necessarily anything that I haven't thought before, as in like when you were talking about the big golden dream, and like I've had other friends say that to me, like, you know, I don't think that we have this one purpose. I don't necessarily think that there is this, you know, what is my purpose in life? Maybe the purpose is just to do the little things and kind of. So I have definitely heard that before, and I have taken that on board before, but I guess there's just still some kind of yearning. There's still something that's kind of, I don't know, something that's
been like satisfied yet.
yeah, something that's not contented.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, maybe it's time just to pick something and have a jump in one direction, even if it's
Yeah.
not.
Even if it's not the forever, yeah, that it's just like, all right, you're going to commit to actually doing it. Do the work, you know, that actually prevents yourself from, you know, not talking yourself out of it.
And the van as well. But I think it's kind of, I think it's all kind of connected in my head, I guess, because I kind of think, okay, if I get the van, I need to be making a living while I'm going around traveling. So it's that kind of connection as well. Like,
Okay.
what can I do while I'm doing that? Or what can I have set up that's, yeah. But yeah, either way, it's just taking steps, isn't it? You're right.
Absolutely. It really is. It's not waiting for the big picture. It's like, all right, let's just, you know, but you know, unless you action this, it's shelf help.
Mm.
You know, unless you actually commit. Like if I was to ask you the question, you going, all right, okay, look, I really want to do the van, but I want to do something. I get it that you can make money while you're traveling. It makes perfect sense. So the question then, if we were doing coaching, and it's a bit hard because we haven't done the like change any mindset, but in terms of if you were to think of even actions, what would be the 3 things that you could do in the next week that would actually move you closer to making that happen?
So to add to getting the van, to actually getting the van.
To getting the van is the bigger plan, and then you saying before that you actually need to find some way of actually making money. Am I right in saying that before you get the van?
Yeah, well, I think so. Unless I just pick up work as I travel around is the other option, I guess. You know, I'd stop somewhere and work in a cafe or something. But I guess the idea would be for there to be something that I could do while I'm, you know, something that's mobile, something that's, yeah, I don't know.
So you do some work while you're traveling.
Well, I'd need to because I don't have money.
Yeah, it's fair. Okay.
So whether that's picking up work, like just waitress, and I don't mean just, but whether that's just like picking up work in a town that you stop in, or whether that's some kind of business that I'm traveling and doing while I'm traveling.
Okay.
Or whether there's a bit of both.
Could be both, yeah. So to make that happen, what would be 3 things that you could do in the next week that would be even some level of planning on that?
I don't really know. I've looked on van sites and kind of like listen to what other people are talking about, what jobs they have, kind of thing. So like I would say research, but I feel like I've kind of,
you've researched it already.
Well, I haven't researched, obviously, not every nth degree, but the obvious thing is if you're wanting to do that, then it needs to be something that can be done from a computer. If you're, as in, yeah, I don't know what 3. Yeah, I don't know. If
you did know, what would they be?
If I did know, what would they be? I don't know. I don't know. I saw some course that came up about surface pattern design, and I kind of thought, well, that could be an interesting thing to try and do. But I don't.
What is it again?
Surface pattern design, like basically creating. Oh, it's got really stormy all of a sudden. Basically, like if you think of wrapping papers or fabrics or wallpapers or whatever, so that would all be considered surface pattern design. So a design that's then repeated. That's anyway. It was just obviously Facebook throws courses up in your face because it hears you talking about
absolutely 100%. It's its job. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's one that's popped up, and it's a immersion course on how to use Adobe Illustrator to do this, to create surface pattern designs. And the bonus of that is it is a job that you could potentially set yourself up to do from anywhere. Like,
Okay.
but I don't necessarily know if I really want to do that. Like it would be a convenient thing to do, but I don't actually know if I want to do that or invest the several $1,000s in a course when I'm not 100% sure if I actually want to do that. But that's still not answering your question. Yeah, I don't know what 3 actions.
So what's the plan? What's the big plan?
The big plan is to get a van.
Okay.
I think to kind of travel a bit around Australia and then end up back in WA where my family is.
Okay. Okay.
But still kind of doing some traveling, you know, still, I don't know, I feel like I'd like there to be travel. To be honest.
Are you in a position to buy a van at the moment?
What's that, sorry?
Could you buy a van at the moment?
Could I buy one at the moment? I have some money put aside for it, yeah. But I think the bit that keeps, I haven't quite found exactly, I know I'm not going to find exactly what I want, but yeah, finding something for the money I have and making sure it's that the engine's good. That kind of thing is halting me because, yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'm feeling frustrated with myself now because it just all sounds really lame as it's coming out of my mouth.
No. So it's a van, travel around Oz. So what could you do that would literally, you know, you go, all right, look, this is my this is my money. I get it. How would you actually be able to, because I mean, at the end of the day, something's mechanical, Sam, yeah, but what are some of the steps you could take to literally be able to ensure that it's in reasonable condition, not as reasonable as can be, yeah? Because I mean, you don't have to hit the wall, yeah?
Yeah, look, I know all that, like have a mechanic look over it, like I kind of, yeah, I know that. I think it's just, yeah, I don't know. I just feel, I feel ill-equipped to be the person going out, and like I kind of wish I had a boyfriend to come out and help me out, kind of looking at, yeah, I don't know. Sorry, this is all just sounding really lame coming out of my mouth. It just is. There just seems to be too many factors to it. There's like, do I buy a van that hasn't been converted yet? And then ask my cousin's son if he'll convert it for me, but he's already said that it would be like the amount of money that it would actually cost him to put everything in it would be pretty much up there with the limit that I have to spend anyway, which means that I would not really have any money to buy the van. So then it's like, well, do I buy something that's kind of half sorted and get in to fix it? And yeah, I don't know. There feels like too many options. Yeah.
Where does your cousin live?
Around the corner.
Would he help you get a van?
No. No, I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean no one really has the time to come out and look at stuff with me.
Have you asked him?
What's that? Yeah, I have. Like he has offered before, but then when it kind of comes down to it, and the thing is, like when stuff comes up, it's like
You gotta go straight away. I get it.
Yeah, that's it. You kind of got to go straight away, and often my work hours don't fit in with. So it's that kind of thing.
So how often has he said he'll do it? Sorry, Sam. How often has he said he'd do it and then he hasn't actually turned up to do it? How many times has that happened?
Oh, well, look, I haven't actually specifically said, can you come to this? Like, he hasn't not shown up. He hasn't said he was going to come and not shown up. But he has kind of said, oh, yeah, no, we'll blah, blah. But when it comes down to it, it's like, no, I don't really feel like coming out for the drive. And
So what's one of the actions you could take this week, now as we've had this conversation, that would actually move you towards this direction, if this is what you want to do?
I don't know, just start. I kind of haven't even looked the last couple of weeks. I haven't even really been looking on Gumtree.
So that would be a start.
Yeah. Like I have gone as far as paying a vehicle inspection before,
Okay.
and that cost like 350 or 380 bucks or something, and the recommendation in the end was not to buy it. So
So it was probably a cheap 350.
well, that's right. And I did learn some stuff from that. Like I kind of learned, next to my sea van that has that kind of rust in it, I wouldn't even go there. So I have gone so far, and I've had learning. Like I've learned stuff along the way. I go, yeah, I don't know. There's some kind of block there. There's something blocking me from doing it. Maybe it's also the fact that the money I have is a safety net at the moment, and once it's spent on a van, then there's no safety net. There's no other savings. Maybe there's that as well. I don't know.
Do you believe you're employable?
Yeah. Well, I'm employable at the moment. Yeah.
Well, would anything change that would make you unemployable?
Not that I can think of in the near future, no.
So you've got the ability to bring in money?
Yeah. Which I am doing.
100%. Do you know what I mean? It's not about how much money, it's about the ability to bring in money. You have the ability to earn.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not quite.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not, as in, like, if you use the money on a van, you've got the money, you have the ability to earn money. So it's not.
Yeah, okay, I get you. Yeah, it's not like that. Yes, yeah. Sorry, I just couldn't quite work out.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's completely right. Yeah, it's not like once I've spent that. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe yeah. Yeah. Not sure what's stopping me.
Maybe we need to do a bit of work together.
Maybe because I feel like I don't want to talk anymore now.
I don't want to ask you anymore. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing, though. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it.
Oh.
Do you see how, though, you can get into a cycle of thinking and then like talk yourself out of it?
I can get excited about so many things, and then in a 24-hour period have gone from like imagining all these like amazing outcomes to then like talking myself back around to nothing again, like so quickly. It's, interesting.
Yeah. So
we've just full-on storm that's come here now. Like it's just howling, and
wow.
Yeah, today was just like this perfect, crisp, sunny day, and it's bizarre. This weather's just bizarre. Really interesting.
It is, yes. It's looking a bit funny out my way as well.
But you're in Queensland, aren't you?
Yeah. I think it's just wetter down the coast.
Yeah, it definitely is at the moment, that's for sure. Crazy, big storm. Thank you. Thanks for kind of listening to me and pushing me a bit.
That's okay. I think there's just those 3 checkpoints are just keeping you stuck, to be honest, from what you said. I think you know what you want. I think you just talk yourself out of it.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, I wouldn't be spending thousands of dollars on a course that if I didn't know I wanted to do it. I really wouldn't do that. I've done that before.
Yeah.
I've done it before many times, to be honest, a few times at least. So I wouldn't be doing that. I would be
No.
experiencing something. Do you know what I mean? Beforehand, because it's so easy. That would be my take on it. Like, do what you want with it. Spend a few thousand if you want to on it. But I'm just
No, I don't. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't have like spare thousands, just like, well, other than money for the
You know,
rent.
off it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. Yes.
So
Anyway,
have a look and see if there's bits that I have said that are included. If I haven't put in my scripting, I definitely will. I'll have a look and see. I had copied it and pasted it, but maybe I didn't actually enter
or
it.
maybe I didn't find it. Like I couldn't see it in the app
Okay.
unless it's
Definitely check. I will 100%. Yeah, check.
I'll check again too, because maybe
Yeah,
yeah.
that's possible. Either is possible. So I guess unless there's anything else you want to ask me, I'm appreciative that you were open and honest.
Thanks. Sorry, I feel like I'm a bit lame actually. Sorry. I feel like all that I think I wasn't quite prepared for.
No, you weren't, but you don't need to be prepared. Like, it's not, it's like, do you?
I think probably also because I stopped a couple of times and was thinking, oh, this is being recorded and people are going to watch you.
Do you know, like, do you think how many people be watching this thinking they will totally get it? You've helped people tonight by just sharing that. Do you think you're the only person who's got a dream that hasn't made, honestly, do you really think for 1 second? I would think most people watching this have got something that they're not achieving.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, honestly, and sometimes you learn your way of thinking by watching somebody else. So 10 out of 10 for you to like going there and to talk it out. There's no way you're the only person.
Okay.
But it really, the whole point of that is comes down to breaking down, going, all right, this is what I want. What 3 things can I do at the moment? That's where we've got to get to. Got to find those 3, what 3 things can I do that will actually take me a step towards that.
Yeah.
That's what always has to come down to, something that you can actually do, that if somebody was hanging out with you for a week, that they would actually see you doing it. Whatever that happens to be. So it's never about a feeling. I want to feel better or whatever, or think different. No, because you can't. If you was looking in your window, you can't do that. You can't see what you actually do. You come on, somebody could see you on Gumtree searching for something. Okay, that's actually an action. Somebody could see you having a conversation with your cousin if he's around the corner. That's an action. You know, somebody could see you like literally checking out, all right, okay, having a route or, you know, a destination planned out. Somebody could see you doing that. Somebody could see you like ringing people in those areas and kind of going like, what kind of work? Are there work opportunities? Blah, blah, blah. All of those things are something that somebody could see you doing. But changing how I think or how I feel doesn't mean anything, because you just sit there.
Yeah, completing a yoga assignment, that's something someone could see me doing.
Exactly right. Exactly right. 110%. Yes. So that really, you know, that really is the distinguishing factor between whether something is a step towards something or just something that we tell ourselves we're doing but not really doing it.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Thank you, Anne. I feel like I've been very privileged to have had like a fun with you.
Well, you know what? That's the bonus of actually coming online tonight. It's yeah.
It was so weird. It was literally so weird that because I was listening to a 24-hour access video on gut health. Like it was like a series and there's a video each day, and I was listening to that, eating my dinner, and then I was just like, yeah, I don't even know why.
Yeah, it's sometimes these things, we were meant to have this conversation tonight, you know, and I hope and I trust that it's, you know, that you take something away from it and do something different. That would be.
Yeah. I think I find my inaction very frustrating. So yeah, even a small bit of action would be beneficial.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, send me an email when you let me know what actions you've taken. You don't have to send it to the group.
Okay.
All
I
right.
will.
Send me an email to let me know. All right, look, this is actually what I've done. Now that you're really clear what the difference between action and inaction is, then if I was literally hanging out with you and I'd be able to see you doing it, that's what we're looking for.
It might not be until next week sometime because I've got my niece arriving from WA tomorrow and I'm
That's
showing
okay.
4 days.
Yeah, if you can do between now and this time next week, that would be doable.
I'll probably really only have Monday. What's today? I'll only really have Monday and Tuesday
That's
because she's
heaps.
with me till Sunday.
Even one action. That's heaps.
Okay.
48 hours.
Okay. All right. I'll send you an email.
Perfect. All right, everybody. If you're there, just give a clap and Sam for sharing. No, for sharing. Really appreciate it. Like seriously. And thank you. And I'll probably see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you for sitting here with me for
No
probably
problem. No problem. That's my commitment. That is my commitment.
Thank you,
You
Anne.
take care of you, and I'll look forward to getting that email.
Okay, I will. I'll
All
promise.
right.
Email. Okay.
Done. All right. Take care. Take care, everybody. Thanks for this week. See ya. Bye-bye.